Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You know what that means. It is time for Season 2, Episode 3 of Brackets, Bubbles, Bids, Steelers podcast. Jonathan and Nico are here, and Andrew is joining us for the first time. Let me just fix that.
Thank you for having me.
That looks a lot better. All right, so obviously the first thing we have to start with from last night in Durham, Mike Krzyzewski's final home game. Well, his final home game did not go as planned. Armando Bacot had something to say about that. Andrew, you want to start us?
I mean, we were destined to win that game. Like all the talk about Coach K's last game, we were just destined to win. We play so much better with RJ Davis as our ball handler than Caleb Love. Like it's unreal.
I mean, I think that's just the agenda that I have. It's the power of my agenda. Nico, what were your major takeaways from this game?
Well, I mean, I would say my major takeaway is that no one is invincible, even in the ACC. I mean, we thought Duke was going to just roll through the rest of their schedule, and that didn't happen. And, power of the rivalry games, I would say, because there is no reason for that UNC to come in and win, yet they basically ran away with it.
Jonathan?
Yeah, it's a lot at once, but, as a Duke fan, it obviously wasn't an easy night, to say the least. It was a lot to handle for the players. With the whole Coach K last game thing going on. They're a bad home team in general for whatever reason. We played really, really bad at home against Miami, Virginia, Wake Forest, just a plethora of bad home games. And then, just happened all at once, and everything went wrong, and all of a sudden Carolina's got a late lead, and props to them. It gets them into the NCAA tournament. But
yeah, we can totally all agree that it's not best for Duke when Paolo Banchero is taking 26 shots.
Yeah, no,
it's best for Duke when AJ Griffin is taking 9, 10, 11 shots. He took 5 shots.
Yes, as a Leaky Black ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
And then I'll also say, I think this ended any chances at Duke getting a 1 seed, which did look pretty possible at the time.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this team, if Duke were 27-4, or if they were 30-4 ACC champions, you can't not give that a number 1 seed.
Yeah.
But now 29-5 ACC champions with losses to Florida State, Virginia, with losses to Miami, Virginia, North Carolina at home, and Florida State on the road. You don't have to give that number 1 seed.
That sounds like a 2 seed.
That's a 2 seed. I think we were looking at another thing today. Another major upset in the college basketball world, Wisconsin falling to Nebraska. Have we gotten an update on Johnny Davis yet?
He only sprained his ankle. I don't know how long he'll be out for or anything like that. I don't think it's been announced, but it wasn't anything major.
But if he's out just 1 game in the Big Ten tournament,
that really
they'll lose the quarterfinal game if he doesn't play.
Yeah, who would they play?
That would really open the door.
Maybe.
What'd you say?
Michigan State, maybe.
I think Michigan State
or Michigan.
Michigan State could easily beat them with Johnny Davis.
Let me check.
I think it exposed Wisconsin too, because it just showed how one-dimensional they are when Johnny Davis is not. When he was out of the game, like they can't even beat Nebraska. So.
Yeah, I think definitely an issue for the Badgers. They have to figure out they have to find that ulterior identity. I mean, their entire team is Johnny Davis, first team All-America. He's an awesome player, but
maybe a bit of wall too, but
yes, but this team, they won 5 games in a row right before this, and they were all close games except for one of them. This is a very good Wisconsin team in close games. A lot because you have to give so much attention to Johnny Davis, and he can win despite that, and you have to give so much attention to him that it leaves the rest of the court open. Chucky Hepburn game-winning shot
He has
against
stepped up lately.
Purdue. And yeah, he stepped up. He's been great recently. But today, they play Nebraska without Bryce McGowan's. And, I mean, that's a problem. You're losing to this team.
Also, just a really rough 8th straight senior day for Brad Davison.
Yeah, Brad Davison has been...
Can't wait for his 9th senior day next year.
Can't wait for that. And I'm just looking at this Nebraska team. They play fast, and they've now won 3 in a row.
And they were competitive against Iowa.
How many
Like,
games can they win?
I'm going to say 2. I think they could. I think there's a chance. I mean, looking at the bracket, they would play.
Well,
Penn
the bracket
State.
is not out yet.
Well, I think everything. The bracket is pretty much finalized. As for Nebraska's area, I think they could get through Penn State, and I also think they could get through Ohio State. That's their road to the semi.
I don't think they're beating Ohio State twice, but I could see them beating Penn State.
I think they can beat Ohio State twice. I mean, the way Ohio State has looked lately.
Oh, he missed a dunk!
Are they for sure locked into the 13 seed in the Big Ten tournament?
I think they're the 14 seed actually.
If Minnesota loses,
if Northwestern beats, but I think Minnesota's up in that game by.
No, Minnesota's down.
Oh, they are.
They're down 14 in the second half.
I saw someone was up or down 14.
That's true. Their road hasn't been finalized yet. They are the 13 seed right now.
Oh, we got some update. Charleston ahead on Hofstra 19-12 right now.
Oh, no.
Towson picked up a win earlier today. We'll get into that later. But just around the Big Ten, we really didn't get into it a lot last time. We talked about how none of us are really very high on the league.
No.
Michigan State today. What did you think of their performance against Maryland?
I thought it was
great. Go ahead, Nico.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was resilient because Maryland went on that big run, and then Michigan State really locked in on the defensive end to close the game out. So I thought that was good for them to, avoid a scare there.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the game at all, but I was following all the games today. The start was great. I think they were up like 18-1 to start the game.
Yeah, it was 18-1.
It was a blowout at halftime.
Maryland worked their way back into it, I think, a couple times. But yeah, it was good. They needed a win. They needed any sort of win. So.
And I think that for this game, it's the Marcus Bingham, I think he got his swagger back type moment. I've been saying this whole year about Michigan State, they don't have a guy, and they still don't have a guy. Marcus Bingham isn't that guy. Malik Hall, he's coming on to be a slightly worse version of the guy. They now have a bunch of guys that are in between not the guy and guy status instead of just having 15 not that guys.
I mean, they have
if you're following me.
Yeah, I get what you mean. They have more than a handful of solid players, and that may end up being an advantage for them in the tournament.
Now, Eric Ayala hit 5 threes, and I mean, when Maryland is shooting well, they're dangerous, but I don't see them winning more than 2 games.
Yeah, I can't really see that unless they got Ohio State. Ohio State is the team you want if you're trying to be a bid stealer in the Big Ten right now. That's the team you want in the quarterfinals.
Ooh, that's
and
interesting.
Even after that, you're going to have to win 2 more.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing because this is such a tough league. There's so many teams. It's not like the Big 12. It's not like the Big East. You have 5 games, not 4, that you have to win if you're one of those teams.
Yep.
I think we also got to talk about Michigan. Resilient performance. They were down 7 at halftime. Devontae Jones, 21-9 today. Caleb Houston shot 0 for 10. Had 0 points. Brandon Johns shot 0 for 5. Hunter Dickinson did not play. And Michigan beat Ohio State.
You guys think they're in the tournament?
Michigan?
Yeah.
Easily.
I wouldn't say easily. They're
They are like
4 byes.
last 4 buys, which is pretty easily in. They don't really have to do too much in the Big Ten tournament.
Just
They are currently one spot in KenPom behind the team that might be the 1 seed in the league.
yeah, I think Michigan.
I also think KenPom never gave up on Michigan. They were never low in the KenPom rankings because strong preseason prior, and then once that wore off, they started playing better.
Because they've always been a good offensive team this year. It's just at the beginning of the year they could not stop anyone. Devontae Jones was horrible, and once he figured out how to actually defend in a high major conference, they started playing better, and now they're winning games against good teams.
I mean, we have to remember this is an offense that is like the number 1 offense in the league in 2-point percentage, number 3 in effective field goal percentage. Like, this is a very strong offense. They just have not been a good defensive team throughout the course of the season, and they're starting to figure that out. And you know what? It didn't really even matter today. All they did was they played like a group of guys that is more experienced than they are today. This is the 291st most experienced team in the country, which means they're bottom 100 in experience, and they go on the road to a packed Value City. Is it Value City?
I think they changed that.
Yeah, a packed Value City Arena in a rivalry game, and they turn the ball over 6 times. That's it. They only turn the ball over 6 times.
I think a lot of that is Phil Martelli. I mean, that guy is no slouch stepping in for Juwan Howard.
Honestly, it's Phil Martelli. He's a better coach than Juwan Howard. He's not a better recruiter. He's a better in-game coach.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably true.
Yep. And this is not the Michigan team of last year. It's simply not. That team was 18-1 going into March. They were one of the best teams in the country. This is not the team of last year, even though like they're good. They're a good basketball team, and I think we need to put aside what we were thinking. I mean, look, they are a win-loss. Can they rack up a couple wins in a row? That's the question.
I don't think. I think they'll probably lose their first Big Ten tournament game, but that's okay because I think they're in anyway.
You think they're going to lose their first Big Ten tournament game?
I think if they played Indiana, Indiana would win that one.
You do? You think that?
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're just.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, Michigan destroyed Indiana at Assembly Hall.
It's a terrible matchup for Indiana, too. They're a one-dimensional team, and that one dimension Michigan couldn't do a good job of shutting down.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't think that's a good matchup at all for Indiana. I think Michigan would love to face Indiana.
Indiana is like the same team they were last year, except they have a win against Purdue, so we kind of have to talk about them as a bubble team now.
Yeah, I mean, that's not wrong. They are literally only 6 spots higher in KenPom rankings. They started the season 10-2. They started 14-4 after they beat Purdue. But like they're 18-12, 9-11 in the conference. They have wins over Notre Dame, Purdue, Ohio State, and St. John's. I mean, that's not a very good resume for a Big Ten team.
No, and their predictive metrics aren't very good either.
Yeah. And as we mentioned before, they don't really have guard play.
I mean, I will say Xavier Johnson was, besides that last play, really good on Saturday.
Yeah, he had a good game, I will say. But overall, he's definitely come alive lately. But overall, I don't trust their guard play enough.
That's fair.
And just all over the Big Ten, like, it's a big man heavy league right now. If you don't have a big man, it's hard. Unless you have Johnny Davis or Keegan Murray, you have to have a big man. And that's kind of where Michigan State doesn't really fit in because their big men are good, but like they're good. That's it. Like
Yeah, they're not a leader. or anything.
Michigan has Hunter Dickinson. Indiana has Trace Jackson Davis. Purdue has that duo. Illinois has Kofi. Rutgers, I mean, even Cliff Omori has played really well at
pretty good.
times. Like that whole league is big man driven. And unless you're, I mean, and also let's not act like, and like it's either you got to have a top 5 player in the country or you got to have a top 10 big man in the country.
It's a league.
And if you have both,
very top heavy league.
you're the
talent.
Illinois Fighting Illini.
What's going on in that game?
Andre Curbelo just got an and one.
Who just got an and one?
Andre Curbelo.
Oh, that might be the first good thing he's done for them all year.
It was an acrobatic play. It was really nice. 9 points, 5 assists. He's going to the line for a free throw. And he made it 63-62.
This would be for Illinois' first Big Ten regular season title since I think like 2005, 2006.
Oh, that team.
Darren Williams.
Yes. D. Brown. Luther Head.
Almost won a title.
Yep, North Carolina beat him. That, by the way, that team 29-0. 29-0. That team. Bruce Weber was one hell of a coach at Illinois. That was just his second year after coming from Southern Illinois. Oh! A 3! 8-0 run Illinois. All right, we got to get back to college basketball in 2022. We've talked about the Big Ten. I want to move on to the Big 12 because the bracket is out.
Let's pull it up.
In the Big 12. Let's talk. Let me pull it up. Actually, they also gave out their awards in the Big 12. Do we have any qualms?
I have an issue with
Mark Adams.
What do you have an issue with?
Their coach of the year.
Yep,
I do too.
I don't.
Look, I don't have an issue with it. I just think Mark Adams deserves it more.
So here's my. So there's no doubt Scott Drew is a top 2 or 3 coach in
top 2
in the country, right? But like, here's the thing: Baylor didn't do anything this year, and like, coaching awards are all about like if your team exceeded expectations. And in my eyes, Baylor didn't exceed like anyone's expectations this year.
They honestly underwhelmed.
They had the exact kind of year that I expected them to have.
Yeah, that's why I think Mark Adams deserves it. But like, I don't think you can go wrong giving it to Scott Drew.
I even would have gave it to TJ Otzelberger before Scott Drew. Iowa State won 0 games in the league.
Yeah, but they won like 4 this year.
Yeah, no, Iowa State really crumbled once they got the conference.
They went 7-11 in the league.
And like Mark Adams outcoached
and they brought in Isaiah Brockington, who's like a star, and Tyrese Hunter, who also played really well. So like, I mean, with a lot of coaches, you can expect to win 6 or 7 games with that Iowa State team. They gave out 3 defensive players of the year. Jonathan Chamo-Chachua, Musa Cisse, and Gabe Osaboyan. Nigel Pack is the most improved
What is
player.
with these conferences like putting 6 guys on their all conference teams and like giving out 3 defensive players a year? It's like
I didn't like it.
All
right,
sport. Like, this is college sport.
All right, here we go.
Bracket.
Here's the bracket. What stands out?
I see
the semis that I'll be at on Friday should be really good.
Yes, I think that there's very clearly 3 teams that are the front runners.
Very clearly.
Kansas State, West Virginia, Oklahoma State.
I'd even say 2. I think one sec real quick. So I know, Sam,
Oh!
me, you, and Nico have talked about Texas Tech.
Yes.
All good, Sam?
Yes, there was
So
a
me, you, and
crazy
Nico have
play.
talked about Texas Tech a lot, and I still really like them.
I do too.
I still really like them, but their style isn't made to win a conference tournament. Their style isn't made to win a bunch of games in a row. So my pick for this conference is Baylor.
My thing about conference tournaments is a lot of times it comes down to the end of game situations, coaching, and having a guy that can get a shot, having a guy that can get multiple shots in a row. And Texas Tech doesn't have that.
They really don't, I have to say.
And Baylor has a bunch of guys that can get shots. Akinjo and Flagler, and if Cryer is playing, Kansas has that in Ochai Abaji. But what Kansas doesn't have is Scott Drew.
Well, they also have the best draw up plays out of a timeout coach in the country, probably, in Bill Self.
Yeah, but it's not about drawing plays out of timeouts, because it's about getting it's also honestly more about defense when it comes to coaching late in games for me. And that's why I see this team, Baylor, winning this conference tournament. I like Baylor a lot in this conference tournament.
And it's a really tough draw for Oklahoma because, you were thinking maybe they get that route where they probably
well, the thing is, if they got the 8 seed and won a game, that's honestly better for them than if they get the 7 seed and don't win a game.
I would have wanted TCU's spot if I were them. I think that would have been
yes, obviously that's the desirable spot, but TCU was good. Actually, they were only 1 game ahead of Oklahoma.
And Oklahoma was very
Here's the crazy thing. Oklahoma State would be a win or 2 away from the tournament.
I would agree with that because they beat Texas Tech, Baylor.
They are coming off back-to-back wins, and that's.
And I told you this on Saturday, and you didn't like it.
Okay, because I don't really think they are, but you can't say. I don't think it would happen because they literally cannot shoot for their life. But you can't deny that it would be possible.
Houston has a quad 1 win because of Oklahoma State now.
Let's talk ACC. What do we like in this bracket?
UNC's got a really easy bottom bracket, I think.
Yes, I think this is a great draw for the Tar Heels. As long as Virginia doesn't have one of those games where they look like an actual tournament team, then
I think that might happen.
Then NC should cruise to the. Honestly, NC and Notre Dame are on a collision course for the semis. Wake Forest Miami is definitely the best game potential on Thursday.
Florida State is surging too. If Florida State had just not drawn Duke first round, quarterfinals, I think they could have made a bigger run.
Florida State at 17-13. A lot of years, 17-13 out of the ACC gets you to the tournament.
Yep.
At least has you on the bubble. This year they've won. They beat Duke. They beat Miami twice. They beat Virginia. They beat Notre Dame. But they are not that good.
Yeah. I think Duke got
the first game of the season where they dropped 105 and forced 26 turnovers. That's a million years ago.
Yeah.
When they were 13-5 coming off of 6 straight wins, that's 500,000 years ago. Jonathan, are you there? I think his connection is bad.
Oh man.
It's all right. Miami, Wake Forest is the game everyone's going to watch on that Thursday.
That game is gonna be, of course, they make that game while everyone's at school game. Like,
I mean, that's just how the bracket shaped out. I think we can all agree Duke's probably going to win that.
yeah,
I don't know. Duke has a bad draw with Florida State, Miami, and Wake all in there.
All right.
Alright.
Here we go. Big East tournament. Jonathan, I want your input on the draw.
UConn kind of needed Creighton to win that game
yeah.
yesterday. They would have been so better off as the 4 seed and playing Providence instead of Villanova.
I agree with that. I agree, but I like the idea of playing Seton Hall that isn't fresh rather than a fresh Marquette team.
Seton Hall, I would say, is an underrated team though, because
I would
I think Seton Hall's just
agree,
better
but
than Marquette.
they scare me a little
I
bit if I were
wouldn't-
you.
I'm not sure if they're better than Marquette. They're similar tier, but having them play the next day after they've already played versus having a Marquette team with 5 days off.
That's true.
Sorry, with 4 days off.
But I mean, Georgetown is practically a day off anyway.
It's not, though, because you still have to go out there. You still have to run. You still have to get treatment after the game. You still have to go through your whole process before the game. It's a day. It's a game. Like, just because it's Georgetown means it's a game. And you still have that faint glimmer that you get Georgetown. So I don't think it's all bad. Because, let's face it, if UConn's going to win the Big East tournament, they're going to have to beat Villanova.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just you'd rather play your toughest game in the championship than in the semis.
But then you look on the other side and say, if you win that semifinal game, the championship game is much easier. Now, okay, would a win over Providence be good? But also, what if they were to lose to Providence in the semis? That's a worse loss than Villanova. That
Not
knocks
by
you.
much. I mean, Providence and Villanova are going to be viewed neck and neck by the committee, I would say.
Yes, but yeah, because you're right. There's no quad difference, but there would be an octant difference. Abolish
In the alternate Power Hour Sam world, this is a favorable semifinal draw.
It's not okay. It's not a favorable semifinal draw. It's the favorable quarterfinal draw. That's what it is, and that's the key because you can't forget it's hard to beat a team 3 times. UConn beat Marquette twice. Now Marquette, I'm not high on right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not high on them.
They're the 5th best team in this league. Probably 6th.
I don't even know if that. They're probably the 6th best team in the league if we're being. All right, Xavier has looked terrible recently,
Oh my gosh.
but
They are
If
playing.
they lose to Butler, are they going to make the tournament?
No, they
But
shouldn't.
they have the widest range of outcomes. Because if you told me Xavier loses to Butler, I wouldn't be surprised. But if you told me Xavier makes the final, I wouldn't be surprised either.
I could agree with that. I
Think about it.
they matched
Butler,
up amazingly
Providence-
against Providence. I
Butler,
think they could get
Providence, Marquette. If they get that, I see no reason why they can't make the final.
I see a
They
semifinal run for
almost
Xavier.
beat Providence at the dunk.
I think they're going to make.
They were going to beat Providence in that game.
The roof.
I mean, Bynum hits a game-winning shot in the first matchup. They had that one locked up. If they play them again, regardless of whatever downtrend they're on right now, I think they're going to win. I think they're finally going to get
They
the first
swept Creighton and they beat Marquette.
I like Xavier in this.
I don't like Xavier, but I wouldn't be surprised.
But I like their draw. I really like.
I like their draw. I don't like their team.
You just don't like Travis Steele.
He's terrible. Why would you like him?
Why would I like Travis
Well, no, I'm
Steele?
saying like that's why I
Every
don't like
single year they underperform in February and March. This isn't like a first time thing. They do this every year. They lost to Butler in the first round last year.
That's right.
And their season was over before that.
They lost to DePaul in the first round 2 years ago.
And they're gonna lose to Butler on
Travis Steele.
Wednesday.
Travis Steele is 1-3 in the Big East tournament. He has
That's
to win. He has to win 2 games to be safely in the tournament.
I think he just needs one. I don't think
They are
I
like
think
the second or third last team in right now.
I think if he beats Butler, he's in. If he loses to Butler, they're out. Also,
I think it depends on bid stealers. It depends on bid stealers.
Also, my stream kind of cut out for the ACC portion, but real quick, I'm obviously picking Duke to win the tournament. I don't see a reason not to. My Florida State in the quarters is not an easy draw, but they should beat them, and I'd preferably see Miami over Wake Forest, but again, not the draw I'd like to see.
Yes. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that fake conference. Let's talk.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Here we go.
Okay, I'll take it. I like this conference.
Can Oregon make a run?
This is what I'm looking at. Colorado and Oregon could, if either of them pick up a win against Arizona, they could be in.
I think Oregon would have to. I think Oregon would have to win the tournament at this point. It's too steep of a hill to climb. Like right now, I don't think they'd even be in anyone's next 4 out. Like, can a win?
They're in my others receiving consideration.
Yeah, but like, can a win over Arizona propel you 8 spots up the bubble at minimum? I don't think so.
But can back-to-back wins do that?
It depends on how the committee views Colorado, because
if you're Colorado, that is back-to-back wins over Arizona.
Colorado, all they have to do is make the final, and I think they would be.
This is a Colorado team, by the way.
They still have a good portion of what
they are. 7-1 in their last 8 games. They beat Arizona. They beat Stanford on the road by 20. They beat Cal on the road. They beat Utah on the road. I'm telling you, there could be something brewing here. Colorado started 11-3, and 2 of their losses were to UCLA and Tennessee. Now, they played a weak non-conference schedule. They really did. But look, they're 20-10. Tad Boyle's one of the most underrated coaches in the country. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a team that last year was the top 10 team in the nation by Ken Pom.
Yep.
Which is crazy. It's crazy to me.
It's becoming a good program.
It is becoming a good program, and it always has been a solid program under Tad Boyle.
Never been bad, yeah.
They would always win a game against like a top team every year at home.
It's a great atmosphere, tough place to play.
Really tough place to play.
And
going back to the days of Alec Burks and Andre Robertson, it's been a tough place to play.
And then I know you want me to probably pitch my Arizona State bid stealer idea.
What? Okay, Theo Ash, go ahead.
They've won 7 of their last 8. They honestly look really good. Like, besides the UCLA game, they've been running through pretty much everyone. They haven't been in a close game. They've competed.
Utah was a close game. Washington State was a close game. Stanford was a close game.
Stanford wasn't really that close of a game.
They are 14-16. They lost to UC Riverside at home.
Sam, that was 4 months ago. That's the whole preface of a bid stealer. It doesn't matter what they did 4 months ago. That's
But
why
it does matter that they're going to lose to Stanford.
Nope. Not gonna happen.
It's going to happen because I said it's going to happen.
They will keep Arizona State. If Arizona State beats Stanford, that quarterfinal will be a single-digit game.
I will bet you money that it will not.
Here's the thing about Arizona. They don't play till Thursday in this tournament. By late Tuesday night, they're going to find out where they are in the NCAA tournament because it's pretty simple. If Gonzaga wins the WCC, Arizona is the number 2 overall seed. If Gonzaga doesn't win the WCC and Arizona wins the Pac-12, they're the number 1 overall seed. So, and think about it this way: even if they aren't the number 2 overall seed, the possible team like Kentucky's not taking that region. Like no, it's not going to happen. So Arizona will know by Tuesday night if they can be the number 1 overall seed or not. And I think because of that, like they're kind of going to play bad in the Pac-12 tournament because I don't think Gonzaga is going to lose on Tuesday night.
I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
I think
this team is good enough to the
as
point where that doesn't
dominant
matter.
as they have been in a multitude of the bigger games, they have been
just
notorious.
went to Galen and won and they were up by 30.
Well, yes. Obviously,
They are incredibly long. They're deep with talent. There's nobody in the Pac-12 that will beat Arizona. I will take Arizona well over the field here.
My pick. So if I had to choose between Arizona and the field, I'd take the field this tournament. And in fact, I'm going to take the field because my pick is UCLA.
Ooh. I'm picking UCLA too.
I want to preface that by saying I like Arizona a lot, and I think they can absolutely win a national championship. But I just think this tournament very much favors UCLA, and Arizona doesn't have a ton to prove at this point.
I see Colorado, Oregon, Arizona State. One of those 3 teams is going to take Arizona down.
All right.
So give me the field.
Let's talk. Let's talk SEC. Auburn.
Vandy's going to beat Alabama.
Kentucky. Arkansas. 4 teams that got double byes. Will it be? Who do you think's going to win? Let's start, Andrew. Who gets the best draw?
Well, a team that's doesn't have a double bye, I think is a good draw is LSU. I think they can beat Arkansas, and I think they can go on to beat Auburn. They're a really good defensive team. I could definitely see it, but I think Kentucky's going to win it all.
Okay. I'm with you. I think Kentucky's going to win this conference tournament. I'm looking at Alabama, and I see a team that is okay. I don't think they are as good as maybe some other people think they are. I think Kentucky can play well anywhere. They don't need their home crowd like some of the other teams in this league. I'm looking right at you, Bruce Pearl and Rick Barnes.
I think Auburn does not make it to the final.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So is this an Arkansas take or is this an Auburn take?
This is an Auburn take.
It should be both.
This is an Auburn take. Because I don't really have faith that Arkansas can sweep them. I don't. I have more faith that Wendell Green is going to blow another game in the clutch.
Auburn.
If Arkansas can just hang around, they are going to get that game in the final 30 seconds.
Auburn is not a 1 seed caliber team. They're not one of
But they are a 1 seed, and they will get that.
They
1 seed.
will get
Unless
a 1
Kentucky
seed.
beats them.
No, unless they lose to either Florida or Texas A&M, they're going to get a 1 seed.
Yeah, I like Kentucky. I don't even think they're going to play Alabama in the quarterfinal. I think Vandy's going to beat Alabama. That's my bold prediction of this tournament.
So I
have a feeling that Auburn is also going. What is that? That's a terrible foul by Illinois. Sends Keegan Murray to the line, 15 seconds left, I think, for 3 shots to chance to take the lead.
So I think I'm usually, as you know, Sam, I'm not an advocate for these conference tournaments, at least the major ones. I don't think they tell us a lot that we don't already know. But I will say this. It's important this week to find out whether Auburn, Tennessee, and Arkansas really are just like beneficiaries of a home crowd. And one other thing is, for those of you that are concerned about whoever Alabama plays in the second round, because it's less than 48 hours later, it's a really short scout. If they win their first game, that quarterfinal against Kentucky will tell us everything we need to know about.
Yes, I would agree. I think Kentucky has almost embarrassed Alabama the 2 times they met, but Alabama also probably has the highest ceiling in this league.
That is false.
They are the only team that beat Gonzaga and Baylor in this league.
They're also the
They
only
have the
team
highest ceiling, Sam.
that played Gonzaga and Baylor in this league.
In a road game. They beat Gonzaga in a road game. That should tell you everything you need to know about this.
You don't think Kentucky could do that on a day where Gonzaga plays like that?
I don't think Kentucky would beat them in head-to-head, no. I think Alabama...
I don't think Alabama would beat them in a head-to-head either.
They did!
Just because they did
How are
doesn't
you
mean
denying a...
Just because it happened doesn't mean that it's going to happen again.
Well, it happens.
Ever heard of variance?
Alabama has the highest ceiling in this league.
No, that's Kentucky.
I don't think so.
It's
I'm with
pretty.
you, Sam.
It's definitely Kentucky and Auburn.
I'm with you on that one.
Show
Sam.
me when Alabama gets Jabari Smith.
What do you mean?
Show me when Alabama has Jabari Smith.
Show me when Auburn has a J.D. Davison on fire running the point.
I don't care. Jabari fucking Smith. I don't. You don't. You're missing this completely.
I think I am.
This is a fun one. Stop me from picking Dayton.
I won't.
I'm not going to either, but I'm not going to pick them.
This is the bid.
Stop me from picking Bonaventure to beat Davidson.
This is the bid.
Not going to do that either.
Davidson is.
Stop me from picking Fordham to beat Davidson. Okay,
that one I will stop you for.
Yeah, that one I'm not picking anyway.
I got VCU in this one.
I think it's definitely going to be either the 2, the 3, or the 4 in this league.
No, Davidson's the least likely. Does Davidson get in that large if they don't win the?
Yes. Yes.
If they win unless they lose to Fordham or Mason, they get in that large. And honestly,
they're a lock.
I don't really think they're that deserving of an at-large, but they can pull off a win in the tournament. It's like the weird double edge, you know.
And they just got Foster Lawyer back, so.
Yes, that's the key. Foster Lawyer is the key.
And he was great in that Dayton game, and they still lost.
Yep. And that is the thing about Dayton. When they have Tumani Kamara, when Dayton's on, Dayton's on.
Yep.
When Dayton's good, because Dayton's good.
But you know what? They lost to LaSalle, so they got to win the tournament now.
Yeah, that's the problem, because Dayton is good enough. Dayton is good enough to be an at-large.
They are an at-large 16
caliber team. Dayton, I have been sold on Dayton really since they beat VCU by 30 on February 2nd. Dayton is 10-2 in their last 12. Dayton is 14-3 in their last 17. They went 14-4 in the league. They lost 3 quad 4 games early. Who cares? They then beat Miami, Kansas, and Belmont, 3 good teams on a neutral court, back to back to 1 day off to back.
I can't believe that tournament ended up being like the best non-conference tournament. No one would have thought that at the start.
Hello, the Battle for Atlantis had
Okay.
Auburn, Baylor, and UConn, and Loyola, who is, congratulations, you beat off my doubt. I was praying.
Yeah, they look really good.
That they win.
Lucas Williamson is awesome. We'll get into that.
I got VCU winning this conference.
Okay.
Give me Dayton, and that's a bid stealer. I think Davidson.
I don't know. I think it might be, but I don't know.
I think it will be. John Rothstein. What more do you need than John Rothstein just talking into our screen?
Yes. All right, let's talk about the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Illinois has won a share of the Big Ten regular season title.
They got the stop. I'm delayed.
And here they come. They're storming the court in Champaign.
Wow.
Raise the banner.
Raise the half banner.
Somewhere in there, Twitter user ICARBW is smiling.
Yep.
Oh man, Chris Murray hit a wide open 3 for the win. Jeez.
Anyway,
So the American Conference.
All right, let's talk about the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
You got Tulane.
Yes. Doesn't look like we're going to get the matchup like we did last year, unfortunately. That was the greatest game ever played, the Tulane.
Yep. And then they got wiped.
Are we taking Houston over the field here?
No.
All right,
Yeah.
explain.
I'm taking Memphis.
Do you really think Memphis is going to beat their biggest rival 3 times in a season? That is my only question. Because undoubtedly, they do match up perfectly. They should beat us, but I don't think they will beat us 3 times. I just don't think Kelvin Sampson will let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be Memphis, but Penny Hardaway could play them out of it.
Coach
if we
them
play SMU, I think we're going to lose. I think SMU will beat us in the championship, but I think
here is my thing. Memphis. I was so low on them.
And now you are so high on them.
And now I'm looking at this team as they have won 10 of 11 games. They swept Houston, but they got swept by SMU.
This is going to be the ultimate.
SMU will beat Memphis for a 3rd time.
I don't think so.
Houston, SMU. Houston wins.
I don't think we beat SMU. That's my only thing.
I think you do.
Now, if we don't make it to the final, we should not even make the tournament. Because that is the easiest possible road to a conference final.
Yes, obviously. Oh, they do this. They do that too. Fuck. You want to have some fun?
Always.
You want to have some fun? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite mid-major conference.
John Rothstein gets shouted at by his neighbor.
4 tournament Locks.
Locks?
Yes. Locks.
Wyoming's
Are we
lockdown.
calling Wyoming a lock?
I am.
I don't know. about
Wyoming is one of the last.
I would rather see Wyoming. I think Wyoming should make the tournament over. Like, I think right now they're a. I don't see why Wyoming is lower than like a 10 seed.
They haven't really.
Just because they've lost a couple games recently, they're still what, 24-6?
They're 23-8.
24-7.
Oh.
24-7. Sure, they lost to UNLV. Yes, we know. I get that
What
they're
did
50.
they do in the non-conference though, Sam? That's my worry.
They did not have a very tough non-conference schedule, and they got clapped by Arizona, and they lost to Stanford.
And they were never able to beat Colorado State.
They beat Colorado State.
Wait, they did?
Yeah, they beat Colorado State.
Oh,
They beat Boise State. They beat Colorado State. They beat Boise State. They beat Utah State twice
They did not beat San Diego
because they
State.
only played them once. They beat Grand Canyon on the road. That's their best non-con. No, they beat Northern Iowa.
Northern Iowa is really not that big of a win.
It's their best non-conference win, and it's not a bad one.
It's pretty bad. I don't think.
And it's one of the best
Wyoming
duos
State.
in the country. I am a huge proponent of this year's Wyoming team as a tournament team, no matter
Well,
what.
yeah, I like their ceiling, but
I think they should make this tournament, and I think they're going to make the finals of the Mountain West tournament and lose to Colorado State.
I like Colorado State's route.
Yeah, I've got Colorado State.
But
winning.
what is stopping me from picking UNLV over Wyoming?
Me! Don't pick
What is stopping
UNLV
me
over
from
Wyoming.
picking the home court team, the team that has been great lately in conference play?
I don't care.
Wyoming.
Pick fucking Wyoming.
Yeah, Nico, I agree with you. UNLV gets to play a home game against Wyoming. Like, in a normal regular season home game for UNLV, well, if they played Wyoming at home, what would the spread be? Wyoming would be like a 1 or 2 point favorite?
Mm-hmm. Actually, UNLV is favored.
I think that Wyoming has the hardest quarterfinal matchup by far.
I agree. It just makes them battle tested because I think Wyoming can easily beat Boise State more than I think they can.
I think Boise State will not win it. I agree.
I'm honestly pretty low on Boise.
I'm jumping off the Boise State train. I was with Jonathan like 2 weeks ago saying that they were the best in this league. I don't think they are anymore.
Honestly, Boise State doesn't move me as much as I thought they would.
Wyoming's ceiling moves me, but Wyoming in general does not move me.
I still think Boise State is the best team in this league, but a tournament style like this fits Colorado State better. They're my pick to win it.
Yeah,
I am totally picking Colorado State.
And San Diego State.
24-4.
That's a 7 seed.
24-4. Look. All of Colorado State's losses except for one were lopsided.
If Colorado
State is unbelievable at winning close games because they have the closer. And they have an offense that is one of the best in the country. The best offense in this league. They score at will. They get to the line. And they put the ball in at the line. They can win ball games in a lot of ways.
I think Colorado State wins it, and I think they walk into the tournament as viewed very similarly to that 2017 Nevada team.
The
one that lost to Florida.
Seed?
the one with the Martin brothers.
Yeah, not the one that
lost to Florida is 2019.
No, that's a 12 seed.
No.
The Nevada team that lost to Florida was 2019.
Yeah, that's with the Martins, yeah.
That
That
team
is
didn't
my
make
comparison. I know you like my mid-major comparisons. That is my comparison this year.
I said Arizona reminds me of 2017 Gonzaga.
Well, yes. And Murray State is a 2017 Buffalo clone.
Interesting.
I told you that a week ago.
I know. I remember that.
They will win their first game by 20 and lose their second game by 20. Murray State.
unless they play Kansas.
That's true. That is true.
Kansas, honestly.
Again, it's 2019 Buffalo.
What was
Yeah,
2019?
Nico, you're getting your years mixed up.
I'm getting my
by a
years
couple
mixed up. Okay.
Both
Colorado
of those
State is
teams-
2019 Nevada. And Murray State is 2019 Buffalo.
And who is 2019 Wofford?
Davidson.
No.
They're a lot worse, but like
Yes, that's the exact. It's the exact same team. Them in South Dakota State, but they're a lot worse.
South Dakota State.
Davidson
Dakota
is
State.
way worse.
No, but
defensively.
South Dakota State cannot play defense.
Neither can Davidson. Like they're like the same team.
But 3-pointers go Burr.
Yes, 3-pointers go Burr. I will say, Wofford that year was pretty good. Furman was pretty good that year as well.
That was the year of the 7-seed mid-majors. Or no, not the 7-seed mid-majors.
Yes, the 7-seed mid-majors. Nevada, Wofford.
Buffalo.
Oh, no, Buffalo was not
Buffalo was a
7 seed.
6. That was just a really good mid-major year in general.
Yeah, Buffalo was a 6 seed.
The next year was like the ultimate mid-major year.
Dayton, San Diego State.
Well, those
BYU
were really
was a
the
5 seed.
yeah, and then those were really the only three that were really that good.
Colorado State is a Wyoming and UNLV loss away from being viewed similarly to 2020 San Diego State.
They didn't have the non-conference wins.
But they did run through Creighton, just like San Diego State ran through Creighton.
Yeah,
but
but that San
this
Diego
Creighton
State
team-
team, but that San Diego State team beat a really damn good BYU, and they beat Iowa.
And that Creighton team, you got to remember, was a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Like if it was played, this Creighton team's going to be a 10 seed.
Yeah. I will say, I do feel like all the St. Mary's teams are not like this one.
Like
Because
meaning like
They're
better.
good this year.
They're different because for so many years, let's move on to the West Coast Conference. For so many
By the way,
years,
Sam. By the way, the Big Ten bracket is out now.
We'll get into that.
Rutgers got a double bye.
we'll get into that in a moment. But St. Mary's changed their identity for last year. They were for years one of the best offensive teams in the country. And if you remember, I will always remember those. That I'll remember the 2010 team that made the Sweet 16.
Matthew Dellavedova team.
That was Omar Salmon, Mikey McDonald. Then I'll remember the Matthew Dellavedova team that lost to Purdue. I will remember the other Matthew Dellavedova team, the one that lost to Memphis. I will remember the Jock Landale teams
That lost, almost beat Arizona.
that made this. The one that almost beat Arizona, that beat VCU. That just didn't get past Gonzaga that year. And then the next year, were a bad tournament snub, and 28-5, and they missed the tournament.
What year was that?
2018.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I thought they should have made it. And then 2020 was their last great offense. This year, the 9th best defense in the country. Randy Bennett has evolved as a coach, And
We talked about this.
I've been singing Randy Bennett's praises for a long time because I think a lot of people don't realize that if Gonzaga doesn't exist, we're talking about St. Mary's a heck of a lot more. Like, this is like, what are we like? What is there? There's no other team in the country that is so consistently second fiddle and so consistently good at being second fiddle like St. Mary's. And I can't blame them for being worse than Gonzaga because Gonzaga is Gonzaga. But
Are they going to win this?
they're not because Gonzaga is going to. But I love
And-
St. Mary's and I love Randy Bennett, and this might just be one of their best teams.
Gonzaga is going to beat them either in overtime or they're going to come back miraculously because that's
Yes.
how this always goes.
That's how this always goes.
Everyone
Every
is always like,
single-
oh my gosh, Gonzaga's about to get upset. And then they find a way to win.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's do it right now. Where is it?
Big Ten.
Yes.
Rocky posted it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Rutgers double bye.
They're in. They're in. They don't have to worry about any bad losses. Rutgers is in the tournament.
Nebraska to the quarterfinals.
I like it.
No.
No, I'm joking. Iowa in the semis over Michigan.
Start talking championship.
What about Iowa over Michigan in the semis?
Michigan gonna
Michigan
beat
is
Illinois?
making a run. Michigan,
Yes, I think Michigan is. I definitely think we're seeing Iowa, Michigan,
but this is.
and I
will
think we're
say,
seeing. And I think we're going to see Iowa cut down the nets
Over Purdue.
over Purdue.
I think I agree with you there. This is going to be a weird tournament. Just because you don't know about Davis.
I
with
think
Wisconsin.
Maryland is going to beat Michigan State,
Yeah, I'm with you there.
and
I also
I
think
think
Penn
they'll
State's beating
lose to
Ohio State.
Wisconsin by 7.
yes, and then they're going to lose to Wisconsin by single digits, and it's going to be close the whole game, and then someone's going to. Or if Johnny Davis isn't playing, Maryland makes the semis. Everyone starts talking about Maryland, and then Purdue beats them by 25.
Yep.
I've
And
seen
I will
this movie
say,
before.
we just talked about this, but this really is exactly the game that Indiana needs. They don't have to play a game the previous day. If they win that one, I think.
Yeah,
they
but
can go
Michigan's
good.
good.
But
Yeah.
still, this is the exact opportunity.
No,
they
but
need.
it's a bad matchup. It doesn't work. They're not gonna beat Michigan.
We'll see.
Is Hunter Dickinson playing?
I don't care. They're not gonna beat Michigan.
Are you not following the Michigan every other game rule though?
I'm not, because the tournament it cancels out.
Really?
It ends when every trend of that
Were
kind
we
of
not
stuff.
saying this about Michigan State last year?
Were we?
We were saying how Michigan State was.
But that was a weird Michigan State team. This is a pretty linear Michigan team at this point.
No,
I think
they're a very inconsistent team. I don't know why you act like they're not.
they're inconsistent.
They just got smacked by Iowa. They couldn't. Beat
Iowa
Illinois.
is
They're
good.
on and off.
Iowa is good.
Well, yeah, but who says Purdue isn't good that Indiana just almost beat?
That's
Here's
a
the thing.
rivalry game.
Here's the thing. In the last 3 weeks,
The last time
telling you,
Indiana's
Michigan-
last good win was in January.
And Michigan is getting a worse coach in this game. They have downgraded at coaching for this quarterfinal game.
Indiana's last good win was in January.
We are setting up so much of our legacies on the line for this random Big Ten quarterfinal game.
Indiana's last good win was in January. Michigan has 5 good wins. Their last 5 wins have all been good.
Nico, here's the thing. That Michigan State team last year in the quarterfinals, played a Maryland team that, yeah, they were really poorly coached, but they also won a game in the NCAA tournament.
Shut up.
But Michigan is going to
Shut
be
up!
poorly coached.
And
Shut up!
I apologize, Sam, but this Indiana
Game
team
did not happen. We
this
should have.
Indiana-
We were
Sam,
a better basketball team than them.
Sam, you said it yourself. You guys were satisfied with your progress,
Yeah, you're right.
which is one of my rules. Don't bet on teams in the NCAA tournament that are satisfied with their regular season.
Yep. I still can't believe fucking 14 of 42. 14 of 42.
Who is a team
two-point
that
shot.
is satisfied with their progress this year?
Wisconsin!
Yes! I
It's,
like
it's
it.
It's not just progress. It's just any team that will look back at this and be like, yeah,
Auburn!
we had a great season.
No, Auburn has been good for years, Sam.
Not this good. They were number 1 in the country, Nico.
Sam, they literally should have been the best team in the nation in 2019.
Nico, I'll list some teams that I have in mind for this rule. So
I like it.
we mentioned Wisconsin. We mentioned Auburn. I think Auburn applies for this. Providence, I think, can apply for this.
Yeah.
USC? No.
St. Mary's, I think, definitely
Not
applies
at
for
all.
this.
I completely disagree.
What are they?
I very strongly disagree. They've been hovering around top 25 team for the last decade. I don't know where you've been.
Would you say
What
Rutgers?
do you think they're going to look back at this season in 10 years? They're going to look back at this season and it's, oh, we made the second round, or oh no, we beat Gonzaga, who was the number 1 team in the country and hadn't lost a conference game in 2 years.
Look, okay, they've done that before though. This isn't the first time. That happens like every 3 years.
Okay, we get it. St.
Mary's is good. And they will be good. It depends on the draw, but I will absolutely vouch for the Gales in March.
Oh, and UNC is another one because apparently their standard is now
Memphis.
We can go 1-1 against Duke and split every year, and that's be a bubble team most of the year.
Okay.
Memphis is satisfied with their
let's give
progress.
up on the petty.
Just saying.
Let's give up on the pettiness here.
That's the new
You guys
standard
lost. Let's move on from it.
Wait, hold on one sec, Sam. I said this to one of my friends last night, and you're going to hate me for this, but I honestly believe this is going to be true. When we look back in 5 years, and we look at the landscape of college basketball, and we look at UNC, that win last night will still be Hubert Davis's biggest win as the UNC coach.
No. No.
Wrong at all. That is the most correct
I actually
thing you've said
kind
on
of
the show.
agree.
Andrew,
I'm telling you, real quick before
Andrew,
we move on.
full screen, go.
No, we have Hubert Davis is probably just as good, if not a better recruiter than Roy Williams. And
So, Sam, real quick, and I'm going to end my rant here. I'm going to end my rant here. When as soon as Duke fans get to Tuesday and we have an ACC tournament game the next day, and we realize that game wasn't the end of the world, and we have bigger aspirations than beating UNC at home, we'll be fine. I don't think they're going to win the national championship. I think they could. I don't think they will. But as soon as Duke realizes that game wasn't the end of the world and there are bigger things than that, they'll be okay.
I honestly think I'm higher on this Duke team than you are.
I am too. I'm high on
I think they're probably an Elite Eight Final Four team. Their inexperience could catch up to them.
I think they could win it all. I don't think they
will.
will. I think they could.
But
if Duke wins, AJ Griffin will be the best player on the team throughout the tournament.
Yes.
That's probably true.
That's the take that I've. Appalachian
Theo
State
John
back-to-back threes. It's a 6-point game.
Last night they lost. Oh, yeah, that was last night. Yeah, last night. Because AJ Griffin had 5 points, and at the end of that game, when UNC was going on a run, they just gave Paulo the ball and said, "You do something." With AJ Griffin scoring too, it's a lot harder to guard that dude.
That's exactly what we've been saying. Another team that fits your criteria: Todd Golden and the Dons of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Although I have liked them most of the year, but yeah, no,
Creighton.
that's a good one.
Wake
Creighton
Forest.
is happy
Wake
with their
Forest.
progress.
Not
Wake
their
Forest is
progress,
another
just
one.
their success.
And like, listen, this isn't the end all be all rule. Like,
No,
I made
not
this,
at all. Not
I
at
made
all.
this bracket Bible. I made this bracket Bible like 2 months ago.
I mean,
and there were
UConn won the Big East tournament in 2011. We were satisfied with that. Like that was all we needed, and we won the national championship.
It's not the end all be all rule. I made this Bible. There's 14 other rules in it besides that one.
I need this
you've got-
Bible. I need this.
We need it.
I need a copy.
I'll share it with you guys after.
We need it because
Never pick a team that is coming into March with a huge winning streak. I know that's one of yours.
It's like it's not exactly that. I'm pulling
every
it up
single
right now.
team that's won the national
Houston
championship.
is eligible for the national championship.
The UConn Huskies are eligible for the national championship.
So there's a couple.
Isn't, I believe they're not.
There's a couple ones. By the way,
we lost to Pitt. We lost to Pitt.
How long ago recently? That feels like a while.
I think it was like 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, last week.
By the way, the first rule in that is to take conference tournament week, at least in the major conferences, with a grain of salt.
I strongly agree.
It's 1 week. It's weird because you're playing at minimum 3 games in a row.
Well, not at minimum.
I remember when we were watching, Sam and I were watching that Ohio State versus Michigan game, and right when Ohio State won, you told me they are a trap.
Yep.
I picked Ohio State to lose in the second round.
I remember.
I did too, but I had Virginia Tech beating them.
And by the way, that was a Florida team that I called against Mizzou and saw play. I didn't think they were that good, but I felt good enough that they were going to beat Ohio State.
I didn't even think Florida was going to be the team. I had it being Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I thought Virginia. I was convinced Virginia Tech.
I said, don't be surprised if Oral Roberts beats Ohio State.
I agree. I said that too.
Oh,
you posted that video.
I did.
I won't share the whole thing, but here's one other rule that you guys will like.
You gotta stop teasing it.
Don't sell. Basically, it's a 2-part thing. It's basically like don't sell yourself on players, sell yourself on teams. And
yes.
No, I disagree with that.
And basically, don't try to convince yourself that a supporting.
Don't try to convince tournament week. Sell yourself on a player.
No.
In the NCAA
then why
tournament.
did Max Asmus happen?
Sam, here's another thing.
It was 2 wins, and they had Kevin O'Banner.
Sam, here's another thing. If a team has like a superstar player and he has a good supporting cast with him, we know by now. We don't need this week to decide. That was the problem with Oklahoma State last year. Avery Anderson played really, really good during Champ Week, and so did a couple other players on their team. But they weren't that good during the year, and I personally sold myself on them.
I sold myself.
I don't know if I can buy into
that. I was
one.
way too high on UConn last year. You liked Alabama.
I loved Alabama.
I had them in the national title game last year.
They were my March Madness crush.
I had them in the Final Four.
I had them in that.
I had us beating them.
They were.
You are
they
so
should have beaten
delusional.
UCLA.
I was so delusional last year.
You thought we were getting a UConn St. Bonaventure Elite Eight. You know what happened? Your dreams were crushed in like
on the first
24 hours.
On the first day. Hey. I had a 13th percentile bracket last year.
Wow.
I had a 19th percentile bracket in 2019.
Can you go back and look at the old tournaments to see that?
That's what I've been trying to do, but I just remember I had a terrible one.
The fact that the Tournament Challenge app doesn't allow you to see your history is completely.
Oh no!
I've been filling out brackets on CBS for a decade.
And they're not.
Decade since 2011. Since BYU was my pick. Shout out Jimmer. Miami 2013. Kentucky 2012. Kentucky 2015. North Carolina 2016. Who was my 2017 team?
Hofstra's on fraud watch.
No, it was not. 2017 was. I think it was Villanova. Or was it? No, it wasn't. It was UCLA. I'm dumb. That was learning the lesson of don't sell yourself on a player. 2017
I don't know
UCLA.
if I can quite buy into that one.
2018 Virginia. 2019
By the way, I do have like examples for every single rule I wrote down, so I didn't just like make these out.
What are your examples for that one? 2017 UCLA.
Don't sell yourself on a player.
Is it 2017 UCLA?
No, it's Oklahoma State last year.
But is it also 2017 UCLA?
I mean, there are a plethora.
No, they won 2 games.
They won 2 games and they were a 3 seed, and a lot of people have them going all
They
the way.
lost
They
to
were-
the
they
team
were
they
beating
were
Kentucky.
supposed to lose to.
That
That's not a
Kentucky team was the
disappointment.
second best team in the country besides UNC.
And I was a dumbass. And I sold myself on Lonzo Ball.
How could you not after he hit that shot against Oregon?
That was the best college basketball moment that I fell
Of
asleep
my
for
life.
in the Pac-12.
No,
And
that was the
UCLA
best regular
UCLA
season
legend
play I've
TJ
ever
Leaf.
witnessed.
That was so amazing. I think looking at the KenPom metrics though, we overrated that UCLA team like that whole year.
They had TJ Leaf though.
We also
And
forgot
Bryce
about something
Alford.
with that UCLA team that we're now seeing in the Mountain West this year, Sam.
What?
Steve Alford might be the worst coach in the country.
No Steve Alford slander. New Mexico Lobos
Mm.
legend.
Dude, I picked Nevada to win the Mountain West in the preseason. They're the 8th seed.
Grant Sherfield.
They're
Do
awful.
not slander the man who brought New Mexico Lobos basketball to their biggest peak.
Yeah, and then he ran UCLA into the ground and got fired.
Anyway, let's move on. He got fired with his son on the team. I'm pretty sure his son was still on the team when he got fired.
Yes, that did happen. I think this is.
And
just
he
Mick- a
ran
Mick
Eric
Cronin is
Musselman's
good
machine
type of
into the
thing.
ground.
I have a question for Nico. What are your honest tournament expectations for Houston? Because like I still have this like suspect feeling lingering around that they can go to the Sweet 16.
It's Sweet 16. That's my hope. That's my hope.
Like I feel like they played a really bad game against SMU, but the games against Memphis are just not good matchups for them. Houston doesn't like playing teams with crazy athleticism because like
we don't like
that's what
playing
they're built
teams that yeah. If we got a South Dakota State, we would run them into the ground. I hope we get a team like that.
I'm
I
trying
hope
to I'm
that's
trying to
gonna-
think of I'm trying to think of a 5 seed that you guys would just like drill, or a 4 seed for that matter. Like I feel like
Providence is
like
soft.
I feel like
We
you
run
guys
them
would beat
into the
Wisconsin
ground.
by 20.
We just need someone who's soft. Like honestly, give me Kansas in the Sweet 16. too.
Yes.
Give me Kansas in the Sweet 16.
I love that.
That's what I want. Do not give me like Arizona or someone.
Like Texas Tech would
Oh
destroy you.
gosh. That would be a 40. That game would be in the 40s. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right.
Oh,
what
that
do
would
we
be
think?
fun actually.
All right. What are we thinking?
Hofstra, Sam, is in big trouble.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. The dream is
They are
dead.
I want to pick that team in a 14/3 so bad if they win that tournament.
No, come on.
I want to.
Vermont winning an NCAA tournament game.
No.
Book it.
Very
Jake
cool.
Marsh, the
Vermont
future.
basketball, very cool.
Jake Marsh.
Jake Marsh, the future.
The future. New Mexico.
They're
I want
so
to see New
good.
Mexico State lose another round of 64 game by 1 possession, because that's what always happens.
Sam, I have a trivia question for you.
I am all ears.
So Vermont is currently ranked 66th in KenPom.
Got it.
And they lost to Hartford.
All right, they're the 66th best team in the country. Of the American East teams, what is the second closest team ranked?
220.
Close, 240. The gap between
UMBC.
Vermont and UMBC in that conference is astronomical.
Don't let
They
them
should win-
into the
they should
NIT
win
if
every
they
game in
lose
that
to
tournament by 15 plus.
No, they're an NIT team.
If they do not win that,
No,
tournament,
no,
they don't deserve to be in
Nico,
the
they're an
NIT.
NIT team.
They're
Well,
going to win
yes.
that tournament. And by the
Nico-
way,
But there is
by the
zero
way-
excuse for them to even be within 10 points in that championship game.
They just
Yeah.
won by
And by the-
40, by the way.
by the way, Binghamton beat New Hampshire today, so they get to play the 6th seed in the semis.
That's Tyler Bertram. And
Yes, I remember him.
They benched him in that game. I still don't forgive
What?
them. I still don't forgive them. They were up 16 and they blew it.
To Zaven McLean.
Xavier McLean and Columbia. I will
How was
never.
Columbia doing?
Terrible.
They're awful.
They went 4-22.
Oh my god.
They won one Ivy League game.
Better than Georgetown.
Not even
By the way,
Georgetown.
By the way, the Ivy League only like 4 of their 8 teams play in the tournament. Very on brand for that league.
Oh my god, they don't even play in the what's
That league is not real.
Wait, Princeton is now 106 in Ken Palm.
Not
When
bad.
did that happen?
I am always tempted to pick an Ivy League team in March Madness. Because you know they're going to have a good game plan.
You always convince yourself, oh, they're really smart.
They're going to
Always.
manage the game well. They're not going to turn the ball over.
How did Yale out rebound Baylor?
Ivy
That is
League
one of the
like
greatest
Super
press
Cup of
conferences in
March
college
Madness.
basketball history.
Well, they reached up, they grabbed the basketball, they pulled it down. They did that more times than we did.
By the way, Duke beat that Yale team in the second round.
Shut up. Nobody cares.
And then we got boat raced in the Sweet 16.
That game was
by-
amazing. That Duke versus Yale game.
Yes, I remember that game so vividly.
We were up 25 and almost blew it. As we did pretty much like all year.
Common Duke fraudulence.
Mackay Mason.
Yep.
Oh my god.
The
That is
biggest
a name.
traitor of all time.
Yes. Yes.
You don't talk. That was he is a bigger traitor than KD.
Yes. Very easily. Biggest traitor in college basketball history.
Yep. If
I
you
need
can
to hear you
beat them,
guys
you win them.
realistic expectations for UNC because I'm delusional right now.
Win a game.
No chance. They're
Who
out
think
in the
we can-
first round every time. I will bet you money they're out in the first round.
Sam, I told you this
UNC?
before. Caleb Love masterclass.
No way. Caleb Love 4 for 17 again. That's what's coming. You know it. You know it. Caleb Love 4 for 17. Moving on. Let's talk Maction.
It's
Good league.
Do we
It's a
want to
good
talk about
league.
St. Peter's defense? Because I do.
Do we?
I know I do.
I know
Because
you do.
Shaheen Holloway has built a little something there. The 39th best defense in the country resides in Jersey City. I'm honestly not sure. Did you guys know that in their last 3 games, the St. Peter's Peacocks allowed 36, 51, and 41 points?
No, I did not.
Did you know that Casey and Defo in his last 10 games is averaging 3.7 blocks?
So are you saying they're going to beat Iona and win the league?
I'm not. I'm saying they're going to steamroll their way to the finals.
Okay.
I'm saying they're going to steamroll Siena. And then they're going to play Iona incredibly close.
I don't
just
mind
think-
that take.
I just think the key, Iona has closers, not just one. They have multiple closers. Tyson Jolly can close. Elijah Joyner can close. Dylan Von Eyck can close.
I still think they're the Winthrop of last year.
I
can see
agree
that.
they're not winning a game.
Unless they run into UCLA.
See, like, Sam saying that gives me confidence because he's covered them the entire year. And because of Patino, they're going to be a really popular upset pick.
Oh,
I
there's
agree
an
they're not
Alford.
winning a game. They haven't been, but I wouldn't put it past them to win multiple games.
If they play UCLA, would you pick them?
Yes.
Really?
Choosing disaster class.
Yes. I'm not a UCLA guy right now. I'm just.
I think that could be like one of those games that like UCLA wins like by 2, and like Iona misses a shot at the buzzer, and then like UCLA
It's
goes
Creighton,
on,
UC Santa Barbara.
and then like UCLA goes on to like get to the Elite Eight or Final Four, and everyone's
It's
like, "Oh,
Auburn.
no,
It's
almost happened."
fucking
is this year's
Auburn, New
Auburn.
Mexico State. Shut
It
up about
is.
that. I picked New Mexico State. And I think I picked them back-to-back years, by the way, to beat Auburn.
Wait, what?
They would have played them in the round of 32.
No, they played Clemson the year.
And they would have played them in the round of 32.
I remember President Obama used to always pick them. I don't know why I remember that, but I just do.
Who, New Mexico State?
The most underrated dynasty in sports.
Yes, Chris Jans.
That is my signature take.
The most underrated
basketball
coach in college basketball. Give me your names. Because I have 5.
Matt McMahon.
Most underrated coaches in college basketball.
I have 5. Actually, I have 6. Bashir Mason, Matt McMahon, Tad Boyle, Matt Langle, Jamie Dixon, and Chris Jans.
Tim Jankovic, honestly.
Okay, I can see that.
Wes Miller, UNC legend.
Should have hired him.
Should have hired him.
John Brennan. Kentucky mystery legend. Or no, not Cincinnati mystery legend.
Okay. Now. Fuck.
Mike Young. Popping like Orville
Redenbacher. Does that make sense? No.
Neither does the Maryland one. So
the spring break capital of the Northeast.
You live in the Northeast. Is that true?
No. Maryland people say that it's not true. The newest one.
Steve Peichel.
The newest one is my least favorite. It's
Iowa.
No. Matt Langle greater than a Donald Foyle.
I haven't seen that one.
He's tweeted it
How
twice.
many nails, Steve Peichel?
After each of the last 2 Colgate wins, he's tweeted out Matt Langle greater than a Donald Foyle.
I love when he tweets the Maryland one because all the replies are just like Maryland people saying like, I still don't understand this, but great win.
Keep it up. I don't get it, but keep it up.
Omaha, somewhere in middle America.
That one makes sense.
Xavier basketball.
I like the Dana Altman one.
Xavier one might be the best, by the way.
No.
Xavier basketball, Hell in a Cell.
No, Dana Altman is the best one.
Yeah, for them in February and March.
No, there's a not John Rothstein account. And they say Mike Anderson giving St. John's fans hell for 40 minutes.
Dana Altman is still his best quote, and I will die on that hill.
I hate Here Comes the Pain.
It makes sense because Illinois is in Champaign.
Yes, I know.
He needs to make one for Steve Martelli after what
Phil
Martelli.
Scott Drew Evolution is chills.
Does he have one for Bill Self?
He had one. It was Bill Self BMF. And he proved to no longer be a BMF. He proved to no longer be a BMF.
He hasn't been a BMF for about 13 years. So
14 years, actually. Let's not get started on that one again.
My bad. And when they lose in the second round this year, it'll continue.
When they lose to Houston in the Sweet 16.
That's one of my biggest locks that I don't think a lot of people see coming, by the way. That Kansas isn't getting to the second weekend. They're so
No
soft.
chance.
Yeah.
I like Shaka Smart reincarnated.
When 8th-seeded Marquette beats 1-seeded Kansas.
when 8-seeded UNC beats Kansas.
That low-key could happen.
That would be like my two agendas going against each other, my two anti-agendas.
Armando Baycock could go to jail for the things he would do to David McClung.
Oh my god, he might have an Oscar Tshiebwe 26
Armando
and 28
Baycott would
game.
become a lottery pick just based on that game alone.
By the way, do you guys know when the
Oh
ACC
no,
Nothing Awards?
another good one is fans make plans, Bober Oski laughs.
One of my favorites is some families
he's
plan
the worst.
vacations during March. Pray for them.
Yes, what else is there?
Did you see his tweet
The one
today
today
about the
about,
Mountain West?
The one today about him getting yelled at in his apartment was phenomenal.
Yes, that was great.
Yes. That was
I just
good.
love when he tweets stuff like that.
My favorite part is never waste calories on pizza outside the Eastern time zone because it's true.
Here, I have one bookmarked that I have to find.
Dad.
By the way, the Wordle video he did for March 1st was unbelievable.
No, it was dumb because he's going to start with March, and everyone knows that.
I like today someone asked him, when do we sleep? And he just responded with, this is March.
Here,
I feel bad.
Here, I found one that you guys like.
And John Rothstein.
So there's one from December 5th that I bookmarked on Twitter, and it says, "Dear ACC, you did a terrible job today when you falsely advertised that UNC Georgia Tech was on ESPN2 at 3 Eastern, only to be replaced by racing. No stream either. There are some of us who just only watch the NFL socially and just learned that the college football playoff has replaced the BCS." He's just a nut job.
I love him.
And yeah, no, he's great, but like he's a nut job.
I have a bunch of his shit bookmarked, I think. From John Rothstein.
The Houston Redemption.
Who needs the NFL?
I do.
Well, yes, it's your content. It carries you.
Shut up.
Mickey takes. TikTok sensation Mickey takes.
Respect my college basketball efforts lately.
All right. So, what are we noshing on today?
The breakfast buffet.
It spreads. Okay. Let's talk college hoops. We got a couple minutes left. What are we going to do?
Let's talk about some. Have we touched on all the bid stealers?
No.
Well, there were 2 eliminated today and yesterday. So.
I would say Drake would have been a bid stealer.
All right. So my bracket coming into today. Hold on. Who did I have winning the Mountain West preseason? I had San Diego State.
Much better pick than my Nevada pick.
Why would you dip on that pick now? You should ride with it.
I had it preseason.
Because they can't score.
That's so epic if you actually got it.
All right, let's see what picks I'm nailing, by the way. Preseason. Okay. I'm going to nail South Dakota. Oh, I had Milwaukee as a 13 seed.
Pat Baldwin, baby. Great choice.
The Bible broke Jonathan's Bible of March.
Okay, it's not even March. It's the number 2 overall recruit in the fucking Horizon League.
Fair.
He's not wrong. It's a low major league. Like one 5-star player can win you that. Except, like
he sucks.
Unless you're
He's not
Antoine
good.
Davis.
It's not that he sucks. He just didn't play. He was hurt the whole year.
He still fucking sucked when he played.
Antoine Davis is the biggest wasted talent of all time in college basketball.
I have a feeling that that guy would just be awful at like high major basketball.
Oh, all of these like
He'd be
5
like
foot,
Chris Likes.
He has
all of these like 5'7" guys who are like ridiculous scorers. Your Marcus Keens of the
Yeah.
world. They're not the reason why they're at this level is because they can put the ball in the hoop against bad players.
Marcus Keene, TBT legend, by the way.
I remember.
Are we not going to talk about?
I remember I had Adam Jackson from Central Michigan on the Power Hour back in July of 2020.
Hofstra resurgence? Oh no, maybe not.
What happened there?
They almost made a comeback, and now they're down 11.
Is it over?
6 minutes left.
All right, Aaron Estrada, it's winning time, Speedy Claxton.
Is Oral Roberts winning?
Yeah. They're up
No.
6.
Why do I have soccer on this TV?
Georgia
great question.
State, Appalachian State.
Yeah,
I wanted to see them back in it.
That's a 7-point game with 36.2.
By the way, here's an obvious stat that is just funny for you guys. And Sam, I'll use the hashtag like Jonathan Litzkin created stat.
Okay, let's see it.
If Oregon State wanted to make the NCAA tournament, they'd have to win more games this week than they have all year.
All right, here's my question. If they win, it would include beating Arizona and Oregon Oregon.
They'd have to beat Oregon,
Arizona,
Colorado,
Arizona,
and then probably UCLA or UCLA.
What seed are they?
15.
16. They've won 3 games.
But they have 4 quadrant one. No, not 4. It would be
Colorado and Oregon are not quadrant.
I live.
It would be
for the
2
day
quadrant
when
one
this
wins.
happens.
And
This
it'd
is
be odd.
something I have said for a while. I live for the day when we see a high major team as like a 14 seed.
We did 2007 Georgia.
What seed
Envision
were they?
this: Oregon State wins the Pac-12 tournament.
Have you not seen that SEC story,
No.
Miracle 3? It's like the best thing I've ever. It's like I've watched it a million times. I love it.
Did they win their first round game?
No, or at least I don't think they did.
Interesting. No, App State's gonna lose. That was my pick to win the Sun Belt.
Oh no, wait. It was 2008 Georgia. Yeah, they were a 14 seed and they played Xavier and they lost. They were 13 and 16. They were 4 and 12. Then they beat.
Oh,
Mississippi.
so Oregon State is a 16 seed.
Yeah,
Without a doubt,
They're
dude,
not
did
in the
7 and
first 4,
26.
but they're a 16 seed.
yeah. But
Nebraska is a 13 seed if they win.
yes,
Maryland is like an 11. Maybe a 10.
Probably 11 or 12.
yeah.
And then
What about Georgetown? Are they
Arizona
also a
State
16
is a
seed?
15.
No, Georgetown is a 15.
They haven't won a conference game. I mean, to be
They
fair,
beat Syracuse though.
they did beat Syracuse.
Yeah, they're 15.
On the road, that's like a borderline quadrant 1 win.
I've asked 2 things of Georgetown this year. One was to beat Syracuse. They did that. And one was to beat Xavier. They didn't do that.
That would have been so funny if they did.
Xavier would be banned from the NIT if they lost that game. They're going to the CBI, actually.
CIT. They're gonna be a counselor in training. They're gonna be me.
Are we in agreement, by the way, that the NIT should stand for not in tournament?
Yes.
It does. I
Not
don't care.
interested.
No, I'm interested. Guess what I did today?
NIT bracketology.
Oh no.
Yes, I did. I did.
NIT bracketology.
How can you do that without the top, like knowing which top seeds got into the NCAA tournament? Oh my God, Sam is pulling up his NIT bracketology. Hold on, let me look at this. I'll tell you. Dude, Loyola
Get
won the league.
Miami off that bubble.
Yeah, this was from this morning.
Okay.
Northern
Oh.
Iowa is not a 2 seed. Come on.
Oh,
They're
Dayton,
like a 5 seed.
dude, Dayton wins the NIT with ease.
Dayton wins the NIT by 30.
And honestly, like Dayton VCU is the matchup.
Oklahoma is the 6 seed? I don't know about that.
Well, what would you give them?
Like a 2.
Fuck off. Andrew, would UNC win the NIT? No.
Yes.
They wouldn't. Dayton
Yes.
would beat them.
Yes, they would.
Nope, Dayton would
They
beat
would
them.
lose to like St. Bonaventure.
No, Liberty. Liberty against Dayton would be the best game of the tournament.
Can we talk about the Richie McKay failure? Because that kind of broke my heart.
Didn't break mine. Jacksonville State was the best team in the league all year. Well,
They ruined everything. Can Bellarmine like not exist? Like
No, can they not exist? Can they make the tournament?
Exactly.
Why?
Bellarmine
What is
needs
this
to
dumb
get out.
rule that the
They
NCAA
need to get
has?
out.
It's dumb.
The whole transition period is so stupid.
It's dumb. It prevents real teams, real ball.
Bellarmine is not a real team. They don't exist, Sam. And
I
you
think
can't
they,
disagree.
I
with me.
think they definitely exist.
They
think
don't. They're
Saint-
a fake team. I've
St.
never
Thomas
seen them.
doesn't exist. St. Thomas doesn't exist.
St. Thomas?
You've never even heard of them. They're literally called the Tommies. All right. We have 5 more minutes here on brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. So let's talk about brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Who's in?
Should we do the in or out game where you just name a
Yes.
team?
Let's play
Who
the
else?
Let's play the in or out game. Let's do it.
Just go to bracket matrix and do like
Memphis is in.
Yeah.
And
North Carolina is in.
in.
Xavier,
in for now until they lose to
I
Butler,
think
and then
they
they're out.
will end up beating Butler. So
SMU,
they're in.
SMU's out.
In.
BYU,
Out.
Indiana,
Out.
Out. No, because they're beating Michigan. In.
Florida.
Out.
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 If North Texas doesn't win,
Out.
Out.
Out. They can't. They
That loss
to
yesterday
UTEP.
was brutal.
That ruined any chances, Sam. I'm sorry. They're a 12.
I
seed.
agree.
They would have been
No,
an
they're
11 seed. They would have been an 11 seed.
If
they
South
didn't
Dakota
lose
State
yesterday.
loses to Oral Roberts,
Out.
Out.
Metrics
Out.
aren't good enough.
I don't think they'd even be a top. I think
They would
they'd
be
be
the
a
1
3
seed.
seed in the NIT.
no, and they would win the NIT.
They'd be a 3 seed in the NIT if they lost.
Dayton, if they win but lose to Davidson.
In. And no, they got to win.
Out.
Out.
LaSalle
I'm changing my
exists.
mind. They're out.
VCU, if they beat Dayton but lose to Davidson.
In.
In.
VCU, if they beat Dayton but lose to St. Bonaventure.
Still
Out.
in.
Out.
St. Bonaventure, if they beat Davidson but lose to
Out.
Dayton or
Out.
VCU.
They're
Out.
not making it.
They're
They're
out.
not making it.
This
They
is a
burned
fun
that
game.
bridge on Tuesday.
All right. Rutgers, if they lose.
In.
In.
Yeah, they're still in.
Notre Dame, if they
no shame in
lose.
losing to Iowa
In.
and New
In.
York.
Notre Dame is like an 8 seed.
Notre Dame's in.
If Michigan loses by 30.
To Indiana? They're
Yeah.
out.
Out.
If
I-
Miami loses to the team that beats Wake Forest.
Out.
Out.
Yeah. Out.
Oh my gosh. Now you actually have me nervous.
If
That's not fair.
Colorado
We should
beats
be
Oregon
no
and
different than
Arizona
USC. That's
but
not
loses to USC.
They're in.
In.
They're in.
ew.
If St. Louis beats St. Bonaventure and Davidson but
Out.
loses
Out.
to
10
VCU.
losses. 10 losses out.
Yeah, they're out.
If South Carolina makes the SEC semifinals.
Out.
Out. Yeah.
If they
They
make
need
the SEC finals.
Out.
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 If Virginia makes the ACC championship.
Out.
Out.
If
There's no
Virginia
enough good
Tech
teams.
makes the ACC championship.
Out.
In.
If Texas A&M makes the semifinals.
Out.
In.
They
In.
would, no, they
They
would beat Auburn.
Auburn.
I say out.
They would beat Auburn. That would get them in. I
They're
think.
awful.
I agree, but
They're not going to beat Florida. Florida may win that game by like double digits.
I agree. Anyway,
Respect my semi-local school.
I respect their football program.
I'll take it.
I can't think of any other teams that we could do for the in-out game.
Bid stealer of the week, everyone.
Florida State if they make the ACC championship.
Out.
No, they got to win the league.
All right, let's do the bid stealer game. Let's go. Top 5 potential bid stealers.
Dayton for sure.
Dayton,
Oregon.
UNLV,
Enough with Oregon, Nico.
Colorado.
Colorado's definitely
Arizona
one.
State.
But we just said if Colorado wins 2 games, they're going to be in anyway.
I propose
Yes,
UNLV
but like
is a bid
them
stealer.
winning 2 games anyway would still steal a bid.
I mentioned UNLV as a bid stealer, and you guys hated it.
Well, here's the thing. They're still a top 5 bid stealer. It doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Their road to they got to beat Wyoming, Boise State, and then probably Colorado State or San Diego State. It's going to be too much.
We'll see.
DePaul.
Georgetown.
Oh my God.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, who isn't competing this week.
I know. Bellarmine, bid stealer.
This is Mark.
Actually, Bellarmine, bid opener. There should just not be a team from
What
the
if
A-Sun
Selection
Bellarmine
Sunday
wins.
happens and Bellarmine was just like in the bracket?
What happened? What would happen if they literally just didn't pick a team from the A-Sun and they just gave another bubble team in?
That would be hilarious.
Potential bid stealer.
Potential bid stealer of a bid stealer.
No, that would be a bid opener.
That's true.
Bid stealer in the ACC. Is there anybody? Is Virginia a bid stealer?
Yes.
Either Virginia or Florida State would be the 2 I look out for.
Yes.
Virginia Tech maybe too.
Virginia
Poppin'
Tech
like
will be in
Orville
if they make the
Redenbacher.
final.
Is there any
Syracuse.
potential?
Syracuse.
No, they suck.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
trash.
Garbage.
They are trash.
Syracuse.
They are trash.
Duke has already beaten Syracuse by 20 plus twice, and they will do it again.
Yeah, UNC destroyed Syracuse too.
All
AJ
right.
Griffin actually does whatever
But
he wants.
surely
against
they
Syracuse.
weren't-
There aren't
away
very
from the
many bid
tournament.
stealer potential remaining.
Well,
Temple.
that's because we had 2 of them already this weekend, and neither one of them were bid steals.
Here's my thing.
In the
Loyola
American, the bid
Chicago
stealer
would
is
not have made the
UCF.
tournament if they lost.
UCF is the bid stealer in the American.
Loyola Chicago would not have made the tournament if they lost.
No, I disagree.
They
looked
would
way-
have,
would've
but they
got
wouldn't
in.
have deserved
They
to.
looked way too good yesterday to not.
They
get-
would have
not
been
get
in
that.
Power
Okay,
Hour
that's fair.
Sam's next
That's
4
fair.
out.
That's fair.
As someone
I've
who,
just been grudging against them for the last month.
as someone who saw them live hold AJ Green to 4 of 19 from the field, they would have gotten in with a loss today.
Drew
Yes,
Valentine is
you're.
him. Respect
That's
him.
fair.
By the
That's
way,
fair.
Drew Valentine has become one of my favorite coaches this weekend.
Future Michigan State head
He-
coach Drew
was-
Valentine.
He came.
Ooh.
He went on top of the ladder today to cut down the net.
Re-
Was-
Remember that clip, Sam, actually. Future Michigan State head coach Drew
Tweet it.
Valentine.
Tweet it.
He went on top of the ladder today to cut
And you
down the
better
net.
go-
All right, I need your pick. Bulldogs or Seahawks?
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Seahawks. Yes. The Wagner Seahawks have just obliterated the first 2 opponents in the neck tournament. They are going to win the neck.
That was my pick. I'm sticking to it.
And then they're going to beat 3-seeded Wisconsin in the first round.
The Packers are
Let's go.
expected to release Zadarius Smith.
Whoa. Really?
Apparently. We'll get
By
into
the way,
that
I'm-
later.
I'm going to throw out one more bid steal before we leave. And I
Alright.
don't believe it in the slightest, but it has to be mentioned. Santa Clara is 2 wins away from the NCAA.
Yes, yes.
I
yes.
don't think they're being.
They have to play 2 top 25 teams in the
Yeah.
country, though.
They're not getting it.
And
I don't think
honestly,
so
they
either.
might have to. And honestly, you could make the argument St. Mary's
Santa
is better
Clara
than a top
is
25,
low
maybe even
key
better
like
than
a
top
borderline bubble team.
Who
20.
is?
They're like
Santa Clara.
they're like the 16th team out.
Yeah. But they should be in that under consideration pool.
But the thing is, like, they're not actually under consideration.
They are in Power Hour Sam.
Well, neither is Oregon, but like you said, they were under consideration.
Oregon.
Nico
is
just
under
forced me to
consideration.
put them in there.
Dude, they lost back-to-back games into
I
Washington.
don't care. When I watch the tape, I see so much upside.
Jalen
But I-
Mayfield.
When I watch the tape, I see a team that can't stop a nosebleed and doesn't score nearly close.
Hey, nosebleeds are hard to stop. Nosebleeds are hard to stop.
They can't defend anybody, and they're not close to where they were offensively last
year. Hey, nosebleeds are hard to stop. I'm going to need you to respect them, or I'm going to have to give you one.
So are you saying like nosebleeds are like Arizona?
No. I'm not saying that.
Because they can't stop Washington or Washington State either.
Nosebleeds aren't Arizona. Nosebleeds are like
respect the
nosebleeds would be like
by 30.
Nosebleeds would be like the 50th best offense in the country, which is not bad by any means. So
well, they can't stop that either.
So like Vermont, which is a damn good offense.
Vermont's good.
Ryan Davis. And with that, any final words, Andrew?
UNC is winning the ACC tournament. Just
Nico.
Future Michigan State head coach Drew Valentine.
Okay, thank you, Nico. Anything else?
You're gonna kick me off as soon as I say this, so go Duke.
Bye-bye. Go Huskies. This is March.